Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. We sincerely hope you and your loved ones are keeping well and in good health. If you've enjoyed our content so far and find it valuable, we'd be incredibly grateful if you'd consider subscribing to the Jim Rohn Insights channel. It's your support that allows our dedicated team to craft these videos, and we truly appreciate your commitment to growth and self-improvement. Thank you for being a part of our journey. What if I told you that being the best at something isn't about talent or luck? It's about what you do every single day. In this video, we're going to explore what it really takes to excel at anything you set your mind to. We'll cover the habits, mindset, and actions that can help you improve in ways you never thought possible. This isn't about quick fixes or shortcuts, it's about creating real, lasting change. If you've ever felt stuck or unsure about how to get better at something, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll have clear steps to take control of your growth and start becoming the best version of yourself. Ready to unlock your potential? Let's get started. Set a clear goal. If you want to be the best at anything, the first thing you need to do is get clear about what you want. I'm not talking about just thinking, I want to do well, or I want to be successful. Those are nice ideas, but they're too vague. You've got to get specific. What does doing well actually look like for you? What does being successful mean to you? The clearer you are about what you want, the easier it'll be to make a plan and start working toward it. For example, let's say you want to be successful in your career. Well, what does that mean? Do you want to be the top performer at your company? Do you want to get a promotion, or maybe you want to start your own business and make a certain amount of money by the end of the year? Whatever it is, make it clear. If you don't have a clear idea of what you want, how do you know if you've made progress or reached your goal? You can't hit a target you can't see. Now, once you've figured out exactly what you want, the next thing is to write it down. You've heard this before, but it's important, write it down. When you write your goals down, they become real, they're no longer just thoughts in your head. When you write them down, you're telling yourself, this is important, and I'm committed to making it happen. You can put it on your wall, in your journal, or on your phone, somewhere you'll see it every day. This will keep you focused and remind you of what you're working toward. The next thing I want you to understand is that a goal without action is just a wish. If you want to be the best at something, you have to take action. You've got to show up and put in the work, and let me tell you, it's not going to be easy. But if you want to be great, you need to outwork everyone around you. It's not about being the smartest or having the best resources, it's about putting in the effort day in and day out. That's how you get ahead. But here's the thing, you don't just want to work hard, you want to work smart. You want to focus on the things that matter most. Sometimes, people think that working harder means doing more, but it's about doing the right things. You need to figure out what moves the needle the most and focus your energy there. When you focus on the right tasks, your progress will be faster and more meaningful. You're also going to need to take care of yourself. Your health, both physical and mental, is crucial if you're going to keep pushing forward. You've got to take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. That means eating right, getting exercise, getting enough rest, and taking time for yourself. If you're not feeling good, it's going to be hard to put in the work you need to. And let's be honest, we all know how easy it is to let our health slip when we get busy. But you can't afford to let that happen if you want to perform at your best. Another key part of being the best is celebrating the small wins. I know it's easy to get caught up in the big goal and forget about all the progress you've made along the way, but trust me, you need to take time to acknowledge the little victories. Maybe you finished a project ahead of schedule, maybe you made a new connection, or maybe you learned something new that will help you down the line. These small wins add up. Every time you hit a small milestone, you're one step closer to your big goal. So, take a moment to celebrate, even if it's just a quick win. It will keep you motivated and remind you that you're on the right path. And while we're talking about the process, don't forget this, be patient. Success doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. There will be days when you feel like you're not making any progress or you're not seeing the results you want, but the key is to keep going. The best people aren't the ones who get everything perfect or hit every goal immediately. They're the ones who keep showing up even when things are tough. It's about being consistent, staying patient, and trusting the process. You're building something that's going to last, and that takes time. As you work toward your goal, you're going to face challenges, and when you do, you need to stay positive. I know it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go your way, but staying positive is what separates the winners from the rest. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. When things don't go as planned, take a step back, reflect, and think about what you can do differently. Staying positive is about keeping your mindset in the right place even when things get tough, because when you stay positive, you stay focused on the solution, not the problem. Now let's talk about mistakes. You're going to make them, we all do. The key is not to let them stop you. Don't be afraid of failure. Every mistake is a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to being the best. It's about learning from what went wrong and adjusting your approach moving forward. If you want to be the best, you've got to be willing to fail and then get back up and try again. The winners are the ones who don't give up after the first mistake. They keep going, keep improving, and keep learning from what went wrong. And here's something important: stop comparing yourself to others. It's so easy to look around and think, I'm not doing as well as they are, or I'm not as far along as that person. But remember, you're on your own journey. Your path is different from anyone else's. Comparing yourself to someone else only holds you back. Focus on your own progress, your own goals, and your own growth. That's where you need to put your energy. Finally, keep improving every day. The best people are the ones who are always looking for ways to get better. It doesn't matter how good you are right now, there's always room for improvement. Whether it's reading a book, taking a course, or simply practicing your skills, always be looking for ways to improve. You don't have to be perfect right now. What matters is that you're getting better every day. Keep pushing yourself to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's how you become the best. So, if you want to be the best at anything, get clear on what you want, take action, work hard, stay healthy, celebrate the small wins, be patient, stay positive, learn from your mistakes, stop comparing yourself to others, and keep improving every day. It's all about consistency and focus. If you do that, you'll get there. Believe me, you've got everything you need to be the best. So, what are you waiting for? Let's get to work. If you don't know where you're going, how are you supposed to get there? The plan is your roadmap. It's going to help you stay on track, keep you moving forward, and make sure that no matter what happens, you don't get lost. The first thing you need to do is define your goal clearly. If you don't know exactly what you want, how will you know when you've achieved it? Be specific. Let's say you want to be fit. It's not enough to just say, I want to get in shape. What does getting in shape mean to you? Does it mean losing a certain amount of weight? Or maybe it means being able to run a 5K or lift a certain amount of weight. Whatever it is, be clear. The clearer you are about your goal, the easier it is to create a plan to reach it. Once you've defined your goal, it's time to break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. You can't eat the whole elephant at once, right? So, take your big goal and break it into smaller steps that are easier to handle. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, that might seem overwhelming at first, but break it down into smaller pieces. Maybe it's 5 pounds every month, maybe it's a certain number of workouts each week. Whatever it is, break it down into steps that are easier to accomplish. Next, set a timeline. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. If you want to lose 20 pounds, by when do you want to lose it? You need a time frame to work with, otherwise, you'll just keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Set a deadline for each small goal as well. It gives you a sense of urgency and keeps you from putting things off. When you have a deadline, it's like putting a stake in the ground. You know when you need to hit your target. But here's the truth, life doesn't always go according to plan. Things will come up, you'll face obstacles, and sometimes you'll get off track. That's okay. What matters is that you stay flexible. When you hit a roadblock, adjust your plan. Maybe it's not the right time to focus on one area, maybe you need to tweak things to fit your current situation. The point is, don't quit just because things aren't going perfectly. A good plan isn't rigid, it's adaptable. If you need to change your route, do it, just keep moving forward. Now let's talk about resources. Do you have what you need to make your plan happen? Do you have the skills, the time, the money, or the support? If not, make sure you get the resources you need. Maybe it means saving up some money, maybe it means learning new skills, or maybe it means finding someone to help you. If your plan requires a certain resource and you don't have it yet, figure out how to get it. A good plan is built on what you already have, but it's also about recognizing what you're missing and working to get those things. Another key part of a solid plan is being realistic. We all want to achieve big things, but if you set yourself up for something too big, too fast, you'll get frustrated. Don't try to take on more than you can handle. Start small, build momentum, and then gradually tackle bigger challenges. For example, if you've never worked out before and you suddenly plan to work out 2 hours every day, it's going to be hard to stick to. Set yourself up for success by being realistic. If you start with 30 minutes a day, that's more manageable. As you get stronger, you can increase your workouts. It's about building a foundation and then stacking the wins. Your plan also needs to be focused. There are so many distractions in life, and it's easy to get sidetracked, but you need to stay focused on what matters most. Cut out the noise. If you're working on getting fit, don't let other things get in the way. Set aside time for your workouts and make them non-negotiable. When you're working on something important, you need to make it a priority. Focus is about making sure you're not wasting time on things that won't help you reach your goal. Keep your eye on the prize and stay focused on what you can control. And here's something important, don't try to go it alone. Get some accountability. Tell someone what you're working on and ask them to check in with you. Having someone who holds you accountable makes all the difference. They'll encourage you when things get tough and help keep you on track. But you also need to hold yourself accountable. Make a checklist or use an app to track your progress. When you see your progress, it motivates you to keep going. Don't forget that your plan is not set in stone. You don't have to follow it exactly, step by step, for the rest of your life. Life changes, and so should your plan. As you move forward, you'll learn new things and your plan will need to adjust. Maybe you discover a better way to reach your goal, or maybe you realize that a certain part of the plan isn't working for you. That's okay, be willing to make adjustments, but don't lose sight of your end goal. The important part is that you're always moving in the right direction. And remember, don't wait for the perfect time to start. There's never going to be a perfect time to do anything. If you wait for the stars to align, you'll never get started. The best time to start is right now. Your plan doesn't have to be perfect, in fact, it probably won't be perfect, but that's okay. Just start. Starting is the hardest part, but once you begin, you'll find your rhythm and learn as you go. If things aren't going as planned, don't be afraid to learn from your mistakes. You're going to hit bumps along the way, but that's how you grow. You learn, you adjust, and you keep going. Every mistake is a lesson. The key is to keep moving forward, to keep tweaking your plan, and to stay consistent, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Trust that every step you take is getting you closer to where you want to be. Lastly, take some time to celebrate your progress. When you hit a milestone, no matter how small, take a moment to acknowledge your success. It's easy to get caught up in the bigger picture and forget to appreciate the small wins, but every small victory counts. Whether it's completing a week of workouts, sticking to your budget, or just making it through a tough day, give yourself credit. Celebrating these wins keeps you motivated and reminds you that your plan is working. So when it comes to making your plan, start with a clear goal, break it down into manageable steps, set realistic deadlines, gather the resources you need, stay focused, and be flexible along the way. It won't be perfect, but it'll be a start. And remember, the key to success is consistency. Just keep showing up, keep adjusting, and keep going. You've got this. Work harder than others. If you want to stand out, you have to be willing to work harder than others. It's as simple as that. The world is full of people who talk about their dreams and ambitions, but very few are willing to put in the work to make them a reality. Anyone can have an idea, but it's the people who are ready to roll up their sleeves and put in the extra effort who make things happen. And here's the truth, the harder you work, the further you'll go. You don't have to be the most talented person in the room to succeed. Talent is great, but it's effort that makes the biggest difference. If you work hard, harder than anyone else, you'll go farther than anyone else. If you show up earlier, stay later, and push yourself when everyone else is ready to quit, you'll be the one who sees results. The truth is, success doesn't come from doing what's easy, it comes from doing what's hard and doing it consistently. Most people want success, but they don't want to work for it. They want the reward without putting in the effort, but here's the key, there is no shortcut. Hard work is the path to success. If you're willing to do the work, you will separate yourself from the crowd. You'll show up when others stay home, you'll push through when others give up, and you'll keep going when others quit. That's how you get ahead. But working harder isn't just about putting in more hours, it's about working with purpose. You have to focus on what's important and use your time wisely. It's easy to get distracted by the little things, the tasks that don't really matter. But if you want to make a real impact, you need to focus on the things that move you forward. Don't waste your time on things that won't bring you closer to your goal. Use every minute wisely and make sure you're always moving in the right direction. Hard work also means pushing through the tough times. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but the true test comes when things get hard. That's when most people quit. They hit a roadblock and instead of finding a way to work through it, they give up. But the people who are truly successful are the ones who push through when things get tough. They don't quit when the going gets hard, they get stronger. They figure out a way to overcome the obstacles and keep moving forward. And it's not just about working hard for a short period of time, it's about working hard over the long haul. Success is not a one-time thing, it's about putting in the effort day in and day out. There's no magic moment where everything clicks into place. It's the small actions repeated consistently over time that lead to big results. If you want to be successful, you need to commit to putting in the work every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about showing up day after day and doing the work that most people aren't willing to do. But here's the thing, working harder than others doesn't mean burning yourself out. It's about being smart with your energy and making sure that you're working in the most effective way possible. You don't need to work around the clock to be successful. What you need to do is make sure that when you do work, you're giving it your best effort. You need to focus on quality, not just quantity. Don't just work hard, work smarter. It's about finding the right balance between working hard and taking care of yourself. If you push yourself too hard without taking breaks or looking after your health, you won't be able to maintain that effort for the long term. So, yes, work hard, but make sure you're also recharging and looking after your well-being. Another important part of working harder than others is self-discipline. Success doesn't come from luck, it comes from showing up, doing the work, and sticking to your plan. It's about doing the things that need to be done even when you don't feel like doing them. Self-discipline is the ability to push yourself to do the things that are hard or uncomfortable, knowing that they'll pay off in the end. It's about doing the things that others won't do because you know they're necessary for success. When you build self-discipline, you can trust yourself to do what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. And let's not forget about consistency. It's easy to work hard for a few days, but the real challenge is staying consistent over time. Consistency is key to long-term success. It's about doing the right things every single day, even when you don't see immediate results. You might not see the fruits of your labor right away, but if you keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, and keep working harder than anyone else, those results will come. The key is to keep going even when you don't see the immediate payoff. Success takes time, and consistency is what will get you there. And here's something you need to understand, you're not competing against anyone else. You're not trying to work harder than someone else, you're trying to work harder than you did yesterday. The only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. Success isn't about comparing yourself to others, it's about improving yourself, getting better every day, and making progress toward your goal. Your competition isn't the person next to you, it's the person you were yesterday. So, keep pushing yourself to be better, to do better, and to keep improving. That's how you win. Sometimes, people will tell you that you're working too hard, that you need to slow down or take it easy. But the truth is, if you want something great, you can't take it easy. You can't expect to get extraordinary results by doing what everyone else is doing. You need to go above and beyond. You need to put in the extra effort that most people aren't willing to put in. It's that extra effort that will set you apart from the crowd. There's a saying, success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, and that's the truth. If you keep showing up, keep working harder than everyone else, and keep putting in the time and effort, success will follow. But you've got to be willing to do the work. It's not about luck, and it's not about waiting for the right moment. It's about putting in the effort day after day and outworking everyone around you. So, when you look at your goals, ask yourself, am I willing to work harder than others? Because that's the real question. If you're willing to put in the effort, push through the tough times, and stay consistent, you'll get the results you're after. You'll make your dreams come true. But remember, there's no shortcut. It's going to take hard work, day in and day out, but if you're ready to put in the effort, you'll be the one who reaps the rewards. Keep pushing, keep working, and watch your success grow. Take care of your health. Success doesn't just happen through hard work and hustle alone, it also comes from taking care of your health. Your mind and body are your most important assets, and if you neglect them, everything else you're working for can fall apart. It's easy to get caught up in the grind and push yourself too hard, but your physical and mental well-being are the foundation of everything you do. If you want to be at your best, you need to prioritize your health. Let's start with the basics. Your body is your engine, and just like any other machine, it needs proper care and maintenance to perform well. If you don't take care of it, it's going to break down. You wouldn't drive a car for years without changing the oil, would you? Well, your body is no different. You need to fuel it with the right food, exercise it regularly, and get enough rest to keep it running smoothly. A lot of people underestimate the power of nutrition. What you eat directly affects how you feel, think, and perform. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon on fast food, right? Well, your body needs the right nutrients to function at its best. That doesn't mean you need to eat perfectly all the time, but it does mean you need to be mindful of what you're putting into your body. Focus on eating whole, nutritious foods that give you energy and support your body's needs. Fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats are all part of the equation. When you fuel your body properly, you'll have more energy, clearer thoughts, and the stamina to keep going. And exercise is just as important as nutrition. Regular physical activity doesn't just help you stay in shape, it also improves your mood, boosts your energy, and helps you stay focused. It doesn't matter if you're lifting weights, going for a run, or doing yoga. Find something you enjoy and make it a part of your routine. When you exercise, you're not just strengthening your body, you're also strengthening your mind. It helps you build discipline, resilience, and mental toughness, which are all essential for achieving your goals. But here's the thing, it's not just about physical health. Your mental health plays a huge role in your success as well. If your mind isn't in a good place, it's going to be much harder to stay motivated and focused on your goals. Stress, anxiety, and negative thoughts can hold you back in ways you might not even realize. That's why it's so important to take care of your mental well-being. You need to make time for rest and relaxation. It's easy to think that working harder means sacrificing sleep or downtime, but that's not the case. Sleep is essential for your body to recover, recharge, and perform at its best. If you're not getting enough sleep, you'll feel sluggish, distracted, and less productive. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Your body needs time to heal and restore itself, and if you're constantly burning the candle at both ends, you're not giving yourself the rest you need to succeed. But rest isn't just about sleep, it's also about finding moments throughout your day to unwind and distress. Take time for activities that help you relax, whether that's reading, meditating, taking a walk, or spending time with family and friends. These moments of rest help you recharge mentally and emotionally so you can approach your work with a clear mind and renewed energy. It's also important to be aware of your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality, and if you're constantly telling yourself you're tired, overwhelmed, or not good enough, it's going to be hard to stay motivated. Start focusing on positive, empowering thoughts. Every time you feel yourself getting down, remind yourself of how far you've come and how much potential you have. Develop a positive mindset and surround yourself with people and influences that lift you up and support your goals. Stress management is another key part of taking care of your health. Life will always have its challenges, but how you handle those challenges makes all the difference. If you're constantly stressed out, it will drain your energy, affect your mood, and keep you from being productive. Find ways to manage your stress, whether it's through exercise, deep breathing, journaling, or talking to someone you trust. Stress is inevitable, but how you manage it is what separates the successful from the stressed. And don't forget about hydration. Water is essential for your body to function properly. You might not realize it, but even mild dehydration can affect your mood, energy levels, and focus. Make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. A good rule of thumb is to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day, but if you're active or in a hot environment, you'll need more. Keep a water bottle with you to stay on track. As you focus on your health, also remember that balance is key. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success requires constant work and sacrifice, but true success comes from finding a balance between your personal and professional life. You don't have to be working 24/7 to be successful. In fact, overworking yourself without taking care of your health will only burn you out. So, make time for yourself, spend time with loved ones, pursue hobbies that make you happy, and don't forget to take breaks. When you maintain a healthy balance, you'll be more productive, more focused, and more motivated. Taking care of your health isn't just about feeling good, it's about being able to do your best work and show up every day at your highest potential. Your health affects everything you do. If you're not feeling your best, you won't be able to give your best, and if you're constantly running on empty, eventually you'll burn out. So, make health a priority. Take care of your body, your mind, and your emotions, and you'll have the energy and clarity you need to achieve your goals. Finally, remember this: health is wealth. If you want to achieve great things, you need to take care of the one thing that makes it all possible: you. Your health is the foundation of everything you do. If you don't have your health, you don't have much at all. So, make it a priority. Invest in yourself, take care of your body and mind, and watch how everything else falls into place. You're worth the effort. Celebrate small wins. Celebrating small wins is one of the most powerful practices you can adopt on your journey to success. It's often the little things, the small victories, that accumulate over time to bring you closer to your ultimate goals. Yet, so many of us skip over these small moments and wait for the big wins to feel like we've made progress. The truth is, those small wins are just as important, and they should be celebrated just as much. When you celebrate your small wins, you create a sense of progress, and progress is one of the most motivating forces out there. Without progress, it's easy to feel stuck, frustrated, or like you're not moving forward. But when you look back and see how far you've come, even in small steps, you gain momentum. Every little step you take toward your goal is a victory, and acknowledging those victories keeps you inspired to keep going. Let's face it, the road to success can feel long. It can feel like it's taking forever to get where you want to go. Sometimes you might feel like giving up because the finish line seems so far away. But when you celebrate the small wins, you make the journey feel more rewarding. You don't have to wait for the big goal to be reached before you acknowledge your hard work. Each day that you take a step forward, no matter how small, is something to celebrate. Think about a time when you accomplished something, even something small. Maybe you finished a task you've been putting off, or maybe you made progress on a big project. How did it feel? That sense of satisfaction and pride you felt is exactly why you should celebrate your small wins. It's that feeling of achievement, no matter how minor it may seem, that fuels your motivation. When you acknowledge those moments, you remind yourself that you're capable of achieving your bigger goals. Celebrating small wins doesn't mean you're getting complacent, it doesn't mean you're settling for less. What it means is that you're appreciating the journey and giving yourself credit for the progress you've made so far. Every step forward is a victory, and each one deserves to be recognized. You're building a habit of success when you take the time to acknowledge your progress. It's easy to overlook the small wins in the hustle and bustle of daily life, but the truth is, success is a series of small wins stacked on top of each other. Every time you finish a small task, meet a deadline, or even just push through a challenging moment, you're making progress. It's those moments of success that add up over time. They create the foundation for your bigger achievements. Celebrating small wins also helps you maintain a positive mindset. The journey to achieving big goals can be tough. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and moments where things don't go as planned. But when you take the time to celebrate small wins, you keep your mindset focused on what's going right rather than what's going wrong. It shifts your focus from what you haven't accomplished yet to what you've already done, and that shift in focus can make a world of difference. Celebrating small wins also helps you stay motivated. Motivation is a tricky thing, it comes and goes. Some days you'll feel energized and excited about your goals, other days you might feel tired or discouraged. But when you celebrate those small wins, you give yourself a reason to keep going. You create positive reinforcement. Every time you accomplish something, no matter how small, you get a little boost. That boost keeps your momentum going, and momentum is key to staying on track. It's important to realize that you don't have to wait for a huge milestone to celebrate. If you've been working on something for a while and you make even the smallest progress, take a moment to appreciate that. Maybe you finished a chapter in a book you've been reading for a while, maybe you completed a small task that has been hanging over your head. Whatever it is, give yourself credit. Those small moments of success help build your confidence and remind you that you're on the right path. Celebrating small wins also helps to build self-discipline. When you take the time to recognize your progress, you're reinforcing the habit of success. You're reminding yourself that doing the right things, consistently, leads to positive outcomes. Small wins teach you that persistence and effort, even in small doses, eventually add up to big results, and this in turn helps you develop discipline in all areas of your life. Don't be afraid to get creative in how you celebrate those wins. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be as simple as treating yourself to something small that you enjoy, taking a moment to relax, or just giving yourself a mental high five. Find a way to acknowledge your progress that works for you. The goal is to make celebrating a regular habit so you can keep building momentum and stay excited about the journey. Another reason to celebrate small wins is that it allows you to stay grounded. Sometimes the big goals we're working toward can feel overwhelming. It's easy to get lost in the long-term vision and forget about the immediate steps you need to take. But when you focus on celebrating small wins, you bring your attention back to the present moment. You appreciate the process, not just the outcome. This helps you stay focused on what you can control right now and prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by the sheer size of your goals. So, when you're on your journey to success, don't forget to celebrate the small wins. They're the building blocks of your success. Each small victory you achieve is a step forward, and each one deserves to be acknowledged. Take the time to appreciate your progress, no matter how small, and you'll find that you have more motivation, more discipline, and a more positive mindset. It's the small wins that fuel your journey and keep you going when the road gets tough. So, give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate your progress, and get ready to achieve even greater things. Result and don't forget, celebrating small wins creates positive habits. When you get into the practice of celebrating your progress, you start to build a habit of success. This habit will spill over into other areas of your life. The more you celebrate your wins, the more you reinforce the idea that success comes from consistent, steady effort over time. This positive reinforcement becomes ingrained in your mindset and behaviors, making it easier to continue achieving your goals. So, take a step back and ask yourself, what have I achieved today? What small win can I celebrate right now? It might be something as simple as getting up early to start your day, or finishing a task you've been putting off. Whatever it is, recognize it and give yourself credit. When you start to make celebrating small wins a habit, you'll start to see how much progress you've made, and that sense of accomplishment will keep you motivated to keep going. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Every small win you celebrate is a step forward on that journey. So don't wait for the big moments to celebrate. Take time to appreciate the small wins and you'll find that the big goals start to feel much more achievable. Keep going, keep celebrating and keep moving forward because every small win brings you one step closer to your bigger dreams. Patience is one of the most powerful traits you can develop on your path to success. It's easy to get impatient, to feel like things aren't moving fast enough, but the truth is the things that are really worth having take time to build. Success is not a race, it's a journey, and the faster you try to rush it, the more you risk missing out on the lessons and growth that come with being patient. You've probably heard it before, good things come to those who wait. While that might sound like a cliché, there's a lot of truth in it. If you look at anyone who's reached a high level of success, whether it's in business, health, or personal development, you'll notice one thing they all have in common: they practice patience. They didn't expect instant results, they knew the path to their goals would take time and they accepted that. They kept working, stayed focused, and trusted that their efforts would pay off even if the results weren't visible right away. Being patient doesn't mean doing nothing. It doesn't mean just sitting around waiting for success to land in your lap. Patience is about being consistent, about showing up every day and doing the work even when you don't see immediate results. It's about trusting the process and believing that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. Let me give you an example. Think about planting a tree. When you plant a seed, you don't expect to see a tree the next day. You water it, you take care of it, and you wait. And even though you don't see the tree growing every day, beneath the soil it's getting stronger, the roots are deepening and the foundation is being laid for something big. After a while, the tree starts to grow, but it takes time. Success works the same way. You may not see immediate changes, but with time your efforts start to compound and results begin to show up. The most important thing to remember is that patience is key to long-term success. When you're patient, you don't rush things, you understand that every small step you take is one step closer to your goal. And when you take your time and focus on the process rather than just the outcome, you're much more likely to achieve lasting success. It's easy to get frustrated, especially when you feel like you're not seeing the results you expect, but here's the truth: results take time. If you expect everything to happen quickly, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Sometimes success is a slow burn. It's like a fire that starts with a spark and grows over time. You can't rush it, but when the fire gets big, it's worth the wait. Patience also helps you avoid making rash decisions. When we're impatient, we tend to make choices in the heat of the moment, hoping that they'll lead to quick results. But those decisions are often based on emotion, not logic, and they might not always be the best ones for your long-term success. By practicing patience, you give yourself the time to think, evaluate your options, and make the best decisions for your future. Being patient means trusting the process and giving yourself permission to grow. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to develop the skills, mindset, and habits needed for success. When you're patient, you give yourself the space to learn from your mistakes, adjust your approach, and keep improving. And every time you keep going, even when things aren't perfect, you become more capable of handling the challenges that come your way. If you look at the people who've achieved great things, you'll notice that they didn't get there by rushing. They took their time, put in the effort, and didn't quit. They knew that success was not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you want to succeed, you need to embrace the journey, not just the destination. Another important part of patience is being kind to yourself. We can be our own harshest critics, and that's especially true when we feel like we're not making progress fast enough. But being patient means giving yourself grace. You won't always be perfect, there will be setbacks, mistakes, and times when you feel like giving up. That's okay. What matters is that you keep going. You don't let the tough times define you, you keep putting in the effort, and over time you'll see the results. Let's also talk about comparison. It's so easy to compare yourself to others, especially in today's world where we have constant access to other people's successes. But here's something you need to understand: your journey is your own. Just because someone else is moving faster or achieving their goals quicker doesn't mean you're behind. Everyone has their own timeline, and your path will unfold in its own way. Being patient with your own journey means understanding that your success will come when the time is right for you. Here's the bottom line: being patient is an essential part of achieving anything worthwhile. It's about trusting that what you're doing today is building a foundation for the future. It's about understanding that results take time, and every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Keep working hard, keep showing up, and keep believing in the process. The results will come, and when they do, you'll realize that the wait was worth it. When you practice patience, you start to see things differently. You stop focusing on how long it's taking and start focusing on the small wins along the way. You understand that success isn't a quick fix, it's a process that takes time, effort, and consistency. But when you embrace patience, you'll find that success is much sweeter when it comes because you know you've earned it. Remember, success isn't about rushing to the finish line, it's about the journey. The patience you practice today will create the success you see tomorrow. So take a deep breath, trust the process, and know that everything you're doing right now is getting you one step closer to your goal. Keep going, stay patient, and enjoy the ride. Success is coming, and it's going to be worth the wait. Staying positive is a choice you make every single day, and it's one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your success. It's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts, to focus on what's wrong or what's not going right. But the truth is, if you want to achieve anything great, you've got to keep your mindset right. Positivity isn't about ignoring the tough stuff, it's about focusing on what you can control and making the best of whatever situation you're in. Every day you face challenges. Life throws curveballs and things don't always go according to plan. But here's the key: how you respond to those challenges is what matters. You can't always control the events that happen in your life, but you can control your attitude. When you choose to stay positive, you're choosing to focus on solutions, not problems. You're choosing to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and in doing that, you set yourself up for success. So, how do you stay positive? Well, the first thing you need to do is be mindful of your thoughts. Negative thinking can creep in at any moment. Maybe you've tried something and failed, or maybe things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like. It's easy to get discouraged, but here's the thing: negative thoughts don't serve you. They don't help you reach your goals, and they certainly don't make your life better. In fact, they just hold you back. Instead, when you catch yourself thinking negatively, try to reframe the thought. For example, if you think, "I'll never be able to do this," reframe it to, "This is a challenge, but I'm capable of figuring it out." That small shift in thinking makes a huge difference. When you choose to focus on the positive, you begin to see the possibilities in every situation. Positivity is also about gratitude. If you're focused on what you don't have, you'll always feel like something's missing. But if you shift your focus to what you do have, you'll realize that you've already got a lot to be thankful for. When you start each day by thinking about the things you're grateful for, it changes your perspective. Suddenly, the challenges don't seem so big and the things you've been working toward don't feel so out of reach. You start seeing progress, even in the small things, and that fuels your drive to keep going. Gratitude also helps you put things into perspective. Maybe things aren't going exactly as you'd planned, but is it really as bad as it seems? When you practice gratitude, you start to see that even the tough moments have value. They teach you lessons, they build your character, and they make you stronger. The challenges you face today will help you grow and prepare you for the bigger successes down the road. Another important aspect of staying positive is surrounding yourself with the right people. Who you spend time with matters more than you might realize. If you're hanging around negative people who complain all the time, it's going to be hard to stay positive. You start to absorb that negativity, and it can drag you down. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage you and who are focused on growth, you'll start to feel more motivated and positive. The people you associate with can either help you stay positive or pull you into negativity. Choose wisely. Spend time with people who inspire you, who are working towards similar goals, and who understand the importance of staying positive. You become like the people you spend the most time with, so make sure they're people who help you grow, not hold you back. But even when you surround yourself with positive people, there will still be days when life tries to knock you down. And that's when you've got to practice resilience. Staying positive doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means accepting that setbacks will happen, but you're not going to let them defeat you. When life gets tough, keep pushing forward. Remind yourself that these tough times are temporary and they won't last forever. Use those moments to grow stronger, to learn from the experience, and to keep moving toward your goals. When things go wrong, don't dwell on the negative. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this, and what can I do next? Keeping a positive mindset allows you to stay solution-oriented instead of focusing on the problems. The faster you can shift your thinking from "this is hard" to "this is a challenge I can overcome," the quicker you'll bounce back and continue on your path to success. A big part of staying positive is also taking care of your mental health. If you're constantly stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, it's hard to maintain a positive mindset. Taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally is just as important as taking care of your body. Find ways to reduce stress, whether it's through exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones, or doing something you enjoy. When you take time to relax and recharge, you're better able to handle life's challenges with a positive attitude. The truth is, positivity is a habit, it's something you build over time. It's not about having a perfect mindset all the time, it's about choosing to focus on the good things, even when things aren't perfect. When you make the choice to stay positive, you're creating a mindset that attracts more positive outcomes. People will be drawn to your energy, opportunities will start to open up, and you'll begin to see the world in a whole new light. But staying positive doesn't mean ignoring reality. Life isn't always going to be easy, and there will be moments when things don't go the way you want them to. But that doesn't mean you have to give up on your goals or your dreams. Staying positive is about staying hopeful, staying focused on your purpose, and believing that things will get better. Even when you can't control the circumstances, you can control your attitude and your response, and that's what will make all the difference. Here's the bottom line: staying positive is essential for success. It's what keeps you going when the going gets tough, it helps you bounce back from setbacks and stay motivated through challenges. It's a choice, and it's a choice that will serve you well in everything you do. So, choose to be positive, choose to look for the good, even in the tough times, and keep going, because with the right attitude, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Remember, the more positive you are, the more positive things will come your way. Keep your mind focused on the possibilities and watch as your life begins to change. Stay positive and the world will open up to you. Mistakes are part of life. They're not something to fear or avoid. They're a chance to learn and grow. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile, you've got to be ready to face mistakes head-on, learn from them, and use them to become better. The idea that you should never make mistakes is unrealistic. In fact, the people who make the most mistakes are often the ones who end up the most successful. Why? Because they don't let those mistakes define them. They use them as stepping stones, learning along the way and moving forward with more knowledge, experience and wisdom. The first thing to remember is that making mistakes is a natural part of success. When you're trying to achieve something, you're bound to hit some bumps along the road. If you're not making mistakes, it probably means you're not taking enough risks or you're staying too comfortable. Growth happens when you push yourself outside your comfort zone. It's when you try new things, step into new challenges, and make mistakes that you start to learn. If you're not failing sometimes, you're probably not growing as fast as you could be. So when you make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Mistakes are valuable lessons in disguise. Each one teaches you something. Maybe you learned the wrong way to do something, or maybe you discovered an area where you need to improve. Whatever the lesson is, take it and use it. Don't let mistakes hold you back, let them push you forward. When you fail, it's not the end. It's simply part of the journey toward success. It's easy to feel discouraged when you make a mistake. You might feel like you've wasted time or failed completely, but the truth is, mistakes are just part of the process. Think of them like road signs along the way. They're not telling you to stop, they're showing you the best way to move forward. They're showing you what doesn't work so you can find what does. Each mistake you make gets you closer to your goal because it teaches you what to do differently next time. The key is not to let mistakes slow you down. Keep going. If you let every setback make you want to quit, you'll never get anywhere. Instead, treat mistakes as opportunities to adjust your approach and do better next time. Every successful person you look up to has faced failure, made mistakes, and fallen down at some point. What makes them different is that they didn't stay down. They learned, they adjusted, and they got back up and kept going. When you make a mistake, don't be afraid to admit it. Owning your mistakes is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's easy to make excuses or try to blame others, but that doesn't help you grow. The best way to learn from a mistake is to own it, recognize what went wrong, acknowledge your role in it, and then think about what you can do to avoid making the same mistake again in the future. This doesn't mean you're a failure, it means you're human and you're learning. Sometimes mistakes can even teach you more than successes. When you succeed, it's easy to think you've got it all figured out. But when you fail, you're forced to re-evaluate, reflect, and think critically about your approach. Mistakes force you to dig deeper, to learn new strategies, and to understand things on a deeper level. In fact, you might learn more from your mistakes than you ever would from success. So don't fear failure, embrace it as a powerful teacher. Another thing to remember is that mistakes don't define you. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're a failure. A mistake is just a moment in time, not a permanent label. People often make the mistake of allowing one failure to shape their identity. They think, I failed at this, so I must not be good enough. But that's not true. Failure is an event, not an identity. Don't let one mistake tell you who you are. Instead, look at what you've learned from it and use that knowledge to move forward stronger. It's also important to understand that mistakes don't have to be big to be valuable. Even small mistakes can teach you something. Every little error is an opportunity to fine-tune your approach. Don't overlook the small things, pay attention to the details. Even the smallest mistakes can lead to the greatest improvements if you're willing to learn from them. When you learn from your mistakes, it's like turning a negative into a positive. Every time you make a mistake, you get the chance to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. So instead of thinking of mistakes as failures, start thinking of them as tools for improvement. Each one is giving you more knowledge and experience that you can apply to your next attempt. One of the best ways to avoid repeating mistakes is to reflect on them. After you've made a mistake, take some time to think about what happened, what went wrong. What could you have done differently? What did you learn from the experience? By reflecting on your mistakes, you can ensure that you're not making the same errors over and over again. This reflection process is what allows you to grow and become better. It's not about beating yourself up for the mistake, it's about understanding what happened and using that understanding to improve. Mistakes are not the enemy. In fact, they're often your best friend. They push you to learn, grow, and adapt. They teach you things you wouldn't have learned otherwise. So when you make a mistake, don't dwell on it. Instead, take a deep breath, learn the lesson, and then move forward. With each mistake, you're getting closer to success. You're getting better, stronger, and wiser. So, next time you make a mistake, don't panic, don't let it discourage you. Instead, look at it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Then, use that knowledge to keep moving forward. Don't let mistakes hold you back, let them push you toward greatness. Remember, failure is not final, it's just a stepping stone on the way to success. So, embrace your mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. Success isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them and using that knowledge to build the life you want. One of the most destructive things you can do to yourself is compare your journey to someone else's. Everyone has their own path, their own story, and their own timeline. When you start comparing yourself to others, you only set yourself up for frustration, self-doubt, and disappointment. So, why do we do it? Why do we look at someone else's life, their success, or their achievements and think, why am I not there yet? The truth is, comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to others, you forget to appreciate where you are and how far you've come. You start to focus only on what you don't have, what you haven't done, and the gaps between where you are now and where you think you should be. But here's the thing, everyone's journey is different, and your journey is just as valuable as anyone else's, regardless of where they are in life. We live in a world where it's easy to get caught up in comparison. Social media makes it even harder. We scroll through our feeds and see people sharing their achievements, their holidays, their relationships, their businesses, and all the great things they're doing. It's easy to think that everyone else is doing better than you, but remember, social media shows a highlight reel, not the behind the scenes. You don't see the struggles, the failures, the setbacks, or the moments when those people are feeling just as uncertain as you. Everyone has challenges, they just don't always show them. Your success is your own, it's unique to you, and it has its own timeline. Comparing yourself to someone else only distracts you from the path you need to take. When you constantly look at other people, you take your focus away from what you need to do to move forward. Your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions are yours alone. They're based on what you want, not on what someone else has achieved. You have to stop thinking that there's a right way to succeed or a right time to achieve things. Just because someone else hit a milestone before you doesn't mean you're behind or failing. It just means they're on a different path. There's no set timeline for success. Some people achieve their goals early, others take longer, but what matters most is that you keep moving forward at your own pace. It's not about how fast you go, it's about staying in the game, continuing to learn, and doing the best you can with what you have. Here's something else to remember, everyone's struggles look different. What might look like success on the outside could come with its own set of problems and challenges. Someone may have what seems like the perfect career, family, or lifestyle, but they also have their own battles, their own insecurities, and their own worries. You don't know what it took for them to get there or what they're still working through. So, comparing yourself to them isn't fair to yourself. It's like comparing apples to oranges, they're completely different and there's no real point in doing it. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own growth. Take pride in how far you've come, in what you've learned, and in the progress you've made. Even the small wins are worth celebrating. Everyone's journey has setbacks, challenges, and detours, but those are the things that shape who you are and make you stronger. They are what make your story unique, and they are part of what will eventually make you successful. A great way to shift your mindset is to focus on self-improvement, not self-judgment. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? Am I learning more, growing more, and becoming better? If you can answer yes to that, then you're on the right track. Success is about progress, not perfection. It's about improving every day, even if just a little bit. When you focus on becoming a better version of yourself, you'll start to notice that you're not concerned with other people's success anymore. Another powerful way to avoid comparison is to celebrate other people's success instead of resenting it. When someone else achieves something great, don't think of it as a sign of your failure. Instead, think of it as inspiration. Use it to fuel your own drive. If someone else can do it, so can you. Their success doesn't take anything away from you, there's enough room for everyone to succeed. When you learn to be happy for others, it shifts your energy from negativity to positivity. It helps you stop focusing on what you don't have and instead focus on the possibilities that are ahead of you. In reality, comparing yourself to others can cause a lot of mental stress. It creates feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and jealousy. But none of that helps you get closer to your goals. Your energy is better spent on what you can control, your own actions, your own mindset, and your own growth. The more you focus on your own path, the less you'll feel the need to compare. You'll realize that you're doing just fine, that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and that you're exactly where you need to be. Comparing yourself to others only steals your peace. It makes you question your own worth and abilities. It leads you to feel like you're not good enough, like you're falling behind, or like your achievements don't matter. But when you stop comparing, you open the door to confidence, self-worth, and contentment. You begin to realize that your progress is what matters, not how it compares to someone else's. And here's a powerful truth: no one else's journey is better than yours. Your story, your struggles, your growth, it's all meaningful. It's all a part of what makes you unique, and that's what you should focus on. Your journey is special and it's leading you to exactly where you need to be. So, take a step back and stop comparing yourself to others. Appreciate your own journey, celebrate your own progress, and be proud of the steps you've taken. You're not behind, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and your time will come. Keep moving forward, stay focused on your own path, and trust that success will come at the right time. You've got everything you need to create your own success story. The key to success doesn't lie in making one big leap forward. It's about small, consistent steps, day after day, that add up over time. If you want to get ahead, if you want to be the best at what you do, the secret is simple: keep improving every day. It's not about being perfect right now, it's about making progress every single day, no matter how small. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that success comes from doing something big and dramatic. But success is really the sum of small improvements. Each day is an opportunity to get just a little bit better than you were yesterday. You don't have to make massive changes overnight. In fact, trying to make huge changes all at once can be overwhelming. Instead, focus on making incremental improvements. Little steps, day after day, will get you much farther than one giant leap every so often. Consistency is key. It's not the one-off moments of brilliance that take you to the top. It's the ongoing commitment to getting better, even when no one is watching. It's about doing the work every day, whether you feel like it or not. And trust me, there will be days when you don't feel motivated. There will be days when you just want to take a break, when you feel like you're not making any progress. But that's the moment when the magic happens. That's when you have to push through, even when it feels tough. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're building the habits that will lead to success. You have to remember that improvement is a process, not a one-time event. It's not about reaching a final destination, it's about continuing the journey. Every time you improve a little bit, you're getting closer to where you want to be. It's easy to get discouraged if you don't see instant results, but that's where many people give up. They expect results right away, and when they don't see them, they quit. But the real winners, the ones who succeed in the long run, are the ones who show up every day, who put in the work, and who keep improving, even when the progress is slow. The beauty of small improvements is that they compound over time. When you make a little improvement today, it might not seem like much, but over a week, a month, or a year, those small improvements add up. Suddenly, you've made a massive leap forward without even realizing it. This is how success happens. It's the little things that you do every day that build up and turn into something big. So instead of focusing on a distant goal, focus on making today better than yesterday. Focus on improving just 1% every day, and over time, that 1% will add up to a huge difference in your life. The key is to focus on the process, not just the end result. When you focus on improving yourself every day, you're not as concerned with when you'll get to your goal. You start to enjoy the journey, and when you enjoy the process, success becomes inevitable. Instead of stressing about how far you have to go, you start celebrating the progress you've made. You'll start to see improvement in everything you do: your work, your health, your relationships, and your personal growth. It's all connected. When you get better at one thing, it impacts the rest of your life. Now, don't get discouraged by setbacks. Improvement doesn't always happen in a straight line. There will be ups and downs along the way. There will be times when you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But remember, a setback is just a setup for a comeback. It's not the setbacks that matter, it's how you respond to them. When you face challenges, don't throw in the towel. Instead, look at them as opportunities to learn. Look at them as stepping stones toward your next level of growth. Every challenge you face teaches you something new. The most successful people don't run away from challenges, they embrace them as chances to get better. Small habits lead to big changes. It's the daily habits that shape your future. Whether it's reading a little each day, practicing a skill, or working on your health, these small actions will compound over time. You might not see immediate results, but that's okay. The key is to stick with it. Every day, focus on making a little improvement, and over time, those improvements will add up to something amazing. Don't forget that learning is a lifelong journey. Keep pushing yourself to learn, grow, and get better. Seek out new knowledge, learn new skills, and look for ways to improve. The world is constantly changing, and if you stop learning, you stop growing. The most successful people are lifelong learners. They don't ever think they've arrived. They keep improving every single day because they understand that there's always room to get better. Another thing to keep in mind is that improvement is a personal journey. Don't compare your progress to anyone else's. You're on your own path, and that's what makes it special. What matters is that you're getting better each day. It's easy to look around and see others achieving things faster or doing things better, but that's not your concern. Your only job is to focus on your own improvement. Keep your eyes on your own work, your own progress, and keep moving forward. Take time to reflect on how far you've come. Every now and then, look back and see how much you've grown. When you see how much you've improved, it'll motivate you to keep going. It's easy to forget how far you've come when you're in the middle of the journey, but when you take a step back and look at your progress, you'll be amazed at what you've accomplished. Finally, remember this: the road to success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's the daily habits, the small improvements, and the continuous growth that get you to where you want to be. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's built day by day, step by step. So, keep improving, keep moving forward, and trust that with every small step you take, you're building a foundation for the future you want. If you've enjoyed this content and want to learn more about how to achieve your goals and live your best life, be sure to subscribe to Jim Rohn Insights. We've got so much more to share with you, and we're committed to helping you on your journey to a life of success. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.